if you could tell me a little bit about your background, what do you do? More a little bit about your profile and your experience to start with.
Yep. So I'm Ashwin Palnetkar. I've been in the IT industry for around 6.5 years. I'm a data scientist currently with automatic data processing. So my career, I started as a Java developer and then I moved towards data science. Then one of my seniors in my current organization was an XLRI grad. So seeing him, I actually got an inspiration that, okay, there is something called 1 year MBA as well. I really did not know till that time. So in 2020 start, maybe I started preparing for MBA. I also took a track verbal program for English. And in June, July, I gave my exam. And then I was looking out for consultants. I spoke to 2, 3 of them, but I'll be open to you. Track verbal was the most economical amongst the lot. So I chose track verbal for the same, for consultancy, like everything from SOPs to mock interviews and everything. Here, the special mention which I want to add is Ajay Belsare, who was my mentor. So if I say that out of 100, I'll give him 60% credit. I'll take 40%. No, because he helped me a lot. I still remember during our SOP process, Track Verbal's SOP says that a person will be reviewed 3 times at the max, maybe. That is what was given. But between us, we reviewed the SOP. That was on mail, obviously, but 7 to 8 times. So that is the kind of interest he took in my application. So if, as I said, if my success has to be credited to someone, primarily it should go to Ajay Belsare. After that, okay, then I'll be joining Calcutta, but still, yes.
All right. So tell me a little bit about your GMAT journey. So you said 2020 in the beginning, you started thinking about, okay, you want to do an MBA, right? And was India your preference, in terms of your choice?
I always wanted to do that in India. So that is the reason I applied only to IIM ABC.
All right. So you were very clear that India
Yes,
is
yes, yes.
okay. So how did you start with your GMAT research? Did you know anyone who was always been was preparing before? How did you bump into Crackable for GMAT?
So my senior, he told me that he prepared on his own for 3 months. So I started preparing on my own, but my English marks were not improving. So then I started looking out for classes where GMAT training happened. And so that is the reason I approached Track Verbal for their English program.
Okay. So did you take the classroom program or
No,
did you take the online?
online, online.
Online. So, what was the difference? So, you said you spent some time preparing yourself also, right? So what was the difference between preparing yourself versus going through a structured course?
So by structure, you by default get a methodology, right? You have a fixed course wherein the tutors tell you what you have to study. There are mock exams, practice questions and all, which you may find it difficult when you do it on your own because you have a 9-hour job, then you have to research by yourself what to study. So instead of that, going through a structured course is always helpful.
Hmm. So interesting you said that, right? 9-hour job and then study. How did you manage it? Because this is always one of the biggest problem all GMAT test takers has, right? That consistency in preparation. We as mentors or experts, we keep telling them that consistency is the key. So how did you, manage that? And, for aspirants who are, watching this video, uh, what do you think they should be focusing on?
The thing is, you have to allot some time. So I used to prepare so I used to do a 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. shift. So I had quite a lot of time in the morning before 1 p.m. And then since COVID started, the work from home environment also started. So I used to take out some time between my office hours too. And then in the night time, if possible, 1 hour study. So what I felt was I was good at maths, but English is something which I really had to improve.
Mm, mm. So, again, interesting point over here. Everybody thinks English is a lot about grammar, remembering rules. When you went through the verbal process, what changed for you in terms of your own insights on what GMAT verbal was all about?
I think GMAT verbal is all about the flow. You have to be smooth in your English. It doesn't matter to have an excellent grammar. Okay, you need to be good in grammar, but you need not focus totally on grammar. So there are some small nuances which you have to catch and you have to pick up your speed, which you obviously will do when you go through multiple exams, when you go through the training. So these things matter.
Right. So, how long did it take for you to prepare for your GMAT?
4 to 5 months, I'll say.
4 to 5 months. And after that, how, so what was your score? And,
I got a 680.
680. Okay, that's an amazing score. Then you started with the application process
Yes.
immediately, or did you, spend some time doing your research on how to go about it?
I did a 1 week. I knew I had to take a consultancy. I was sure for that. So I researched for around 1 week and then started with TrackWeb.
Okay, okay. So, what is, so you already mentioned that your mentor had a huge impact on, your application process. We also strongly believe that this application process is also a process of introspection, right, for a lot of people. Um, from the first draft to the final one, what was your change in perspective? So today, if you have to tell somebody that why it is important to have a mentor or help in terms of your application process, what do you think is the most important highlight of your process?
Mentor actually helps you in a structured way. So, like the GMAT classes give you a structure, the
Mm,
mentors also give you a structure. So they
mm,
tell, and the best part with Track Variable is that you don't write the SOP. We write it. You tell us what changes we have to do. Unlike some other courses.
right.
So therein, I got a chance to think about myself. So usually a person doesn't think about his career for 3-4 hours. We for GMAT application we think it through for 1-2 months because the entire draft takes a lot of time. So what did you do in childhood? What did you achieve in childhood? You have to go through some photos to understand. Okay, we achieved this too. So it is a huge process. So that is how a structure was brought into the picture.
Right, right. Interesting that you said that, because this is again, I always tell students that if there is somebody who says that they will write for you, that means they can write for 100 people too, which means they will have similar essays. So always focus on making sure that the mentor's job is to, more to tell you what direction to run rather than run with you, or do the running for you, right? So yeah, that's very interesting that you said. Going back to a little bit back, because I missed out one point on the GMAT aspect of it also. Was there any specific section that you felt was very difficult for you, like a sentence correction or reading comprehension or critical reasoning, or generally you felt entire verbal needed a focus?
I felt entire verbal needed the focus actually.
Okay, okay. So did you focus more on practicing from the official guide, or did you spend more time on watching the videos? What was your methodology?
So I tried completing the official GMAT guide, then also whatever was there on the web portal of Trackverbal.
Hmm,
And also there is this GMAT club which
hmm,
comes up with a huge collage of multiple resources. So I tried doing that too.
hmm,
But then again, with verbal, the problem is there is a lot more content. Sometimes Manhattan and all, they say that they have high-end stuff. I'm not sure about that, but a structure in verbal always helps. And I'm not that good at reading books. Like I never read novels and all, to be very honest. So maybe that was also another point that I was weak in verbal.
right, right. Tell me a little bit about, so you apply to IIM A, B, and C. So did you apply in the round one, or did you apply in round two?
Everything in round one. I was
Everything.
a bit skeptical with 680, so I wanted to finish it in round one.
Okay. And how long did it take for you to get the interview calls?
The process, I gave my GMAT on July 2nd.
Hmm.
Maybe by July end, I started working with Ajay. And on October 8th, I got the final call of selection for IIM Calcutta. And 2-3 days within that, only ABC results were out.
Okay, okay. So final call as in after the interview.
After, yeah, final
Okay,
selection call.
okay. So, in terms of the interview process, so how did it go with each of these schools? What was the difference in each of the interview process, like A, B, and C? Did you go through the interview process for all the three schools?
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Yeah. So, what was the difference between, let's go step by step. So, if you could tell me about how was the interview process with A, and who were the people who interviewed you, and what was the process about?
Uh, I do not know who interviewed me because, but then with Ahmedabad, the thing was you have an impromptu speech which you have to give for 2 minutes. So I
Mm,
brought a topic on should government employees be given more holidays to increase holiday spending?
mm,
Yeah, this was the topic which I got. Then there was a little bit of fun around that topic, and then we moved ahead. They asked me about my career, my goals, why I am Ahmedabad, any questions regarding I am Ahmedabad. So that was I am Ahmedabad's interview. I did not feel that it was a stress interview, around a 15-20 minute interview that was. Then with I am Bangalore, it was again about my profile. So because I'm a data scientist, they wanted to know what are machine learning algorithms. They actually asked me to derive one algorithm on linear regression. And in I am Bangalore, my internet went off. So the video got disconnected. I had to reconnect again to join the interview. And after that, it was same why I am Bangalore and any questions for us. But the best experience was with I am Calcutta. They started with I'm a Marathi guy born and brought up in Hyderabad. So they were like, your surname is this, so how are you from Hyderabad and all that. And then I had to tell them that I was born here, my studies, education was here. Then they digged a bit deeper into what do I do in my office. So they asked me what kind of analytics have you applied? So how have you helped the companies? That was with one professor. Then the other professor was quiet through the entire 10-minute journey. Then he pitched in. He was like, Telangana got stated in 2014. So it was more on general knowledge. That do you know anything about Telangana, the Indian government, Telangana government? And also they gave me a business case study that in case I was given a project to handle Vodafone Idea merger, how would I go ahead and how would I see that this competes with Reliance and Jio? So this was also for 15 to 20 minutes. Then that was the only thing. They did not ask why I am Calcutta and all. This was the whole stuff.
Interesting. So, in terms of the case study that they give you, did they give it to you where you had to prepare in advance, or it was an impromptu case study? Impromptu. Okay. And you were given how much time to discuss on that?
It went around for 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes.
All right. All right. All right. Interesting. So awesome. So I think the entire journey, from start to finished in 10 months for you, right? From researching to preparing for GMAT to taking the GMAT to focusing on applications. And, we also had an interview prep, with each other during the process. If you have to go back and look at, your entire process of 10 months, do you think you would like to change anything, or do you think it just went in perfect as per plan?
I'm happy.
Okay. And anything that you believe future aspirants should focus on, which you believe that you did not know, but if you knew, it would have been great. Something around that.
So I would suggest that go like the thing is that most of the GMAT aspirants think the official guide would suffice, but that is not the thing. One should do that for sure, but also go ahead for other resources. And there are always institutes like Track Verbal and all. If possible, approach them. And again, I would pitch in approach Ajay Belsare. That is really important for me at least. So the Track Verbal mentors have been really great. So I owe my success to them.
All right. Thank you so much, Ashwin. Really nice talking to you.